Hey guys, we're going to be talking about measurements and conversions today. And we're going to talk about two different ways that you can work on those conversions. I'm going to share my screen with you really quick. And I'm going to go over the chart that we're really going to be focusing on today. So we're going to be talking about length, which is how long something is, capacity, which is how much something can hold, and weight, which is how much something weighs. We have two different forms of measurement. We have customary and we have metric. Customary is what we use here in the United States, and metric is used pretty much everywhere else. We've actually talked about at school how there's a lot of people that think that the United States should use the metric system. We don't currently use that for most things. So this is the chart that we're going to be focusing on today. This gives you some nice conversions going from feet to inches, yard, how many feet are in a yard, how many yards and feet are in a mile, and then it goes into capacity and weight. So it goes over everything for you right here. This is the Google Slides that you are going to be seeing yourself today. So we have here another measurement conversion chart. There's also some shortcuts here of how to multiply or divide. I personally like this gallon chart for units of capacity, and we'll go over that in a minute. And there's just some different resources here for you. So that is what you will see today. We're going to focus kind of on this one right now, but I'm going to show you two different ways to do your conversions. Okay, so when you are asked to make a conversion, so let's put a question here first. So how many inches in 3 feet? When you're asked to make a conversion, one way that you can do it is you can multiply or divide, but you have to know which way to go, right? So we're going to talk about that in a minute. And then another way you can do it is you can make a table. Let's focus on make a table first. That way, if you're not sure exactly which way you're going, am I multiplying, am I dividing, you're not sure, a table is a really safe way to go. With a table, you're going to label both of your measurement forms at the top of the table. So we have inches and we have feet. So I can write inches and I can write feet. And we're just really simple gonna say, well, how many inches are in 1 foot, right? So I have 12 inches in 1 foot. Most people know that it's the length of a ruler. If you're not sure, you can always look back at that resource that I gave you. Okay, so now I need to figure out, well, how many inches are in 2 feet? Well, if there's 12 inches in 1 foot, then what's my rule gonna be to go from here to here? Times 2, right? Because now I have 2 feet. So if there's 12 inches in 1 foot, I know that there's 24 inches in 2 feet. So now I can make a nice little input-output table. As you can see here, I also have a rule. We always talk about rules for tables. That going this way, I'm going times 12. Going this way, I'm going divided by 12. We're going to talk about that in a minute. So I could just kind of keep going, right? I'm always going to add 12 every time I add another foot. So I'm going to add 12. Now I'm going to add 12 more. 24 plus 12 is 36. Now I know that there's 36 inches in 3 feet. So a table is a really nice, safe way to kind of put both of your measurements up here and then go through and do it that way. Now, if you would rather just simply multiply or divide, there's something really important that you need to know. Okay, we're actually going to go back. I'm going to show you this right here. It goes over right here that if you're going from large to small, you must multiply. And if you're going from small to large, you must divide. This is a really important thing that you need to remember. And if you look and see, it actually agrees with what we did here. Inches is smaller and feet are bigger or larger. So going from small to large, I divided. My rule was 12 was divided by 12. When I was going from small to large, so when I was going from small too large, I divided. So divided by 12 was my rule here. When I was going from large to small, I multiplied. So I did times 12 to get from this side of the table to this side of the table. So with keeping that in mind, how many inches are in 3 feet? I am going from feet, which is my known, because I know I have 3 of them, to inches, right? Which means I am going from large to small, which means I am multiplying. So I'm going to take what I know, 3, and I'm going to multiply it by my conversion. So if I know that there's 12 inches in 1 foot, I would do 3 times 12, and that would give me 36. So really the difference here is when you're making a table, you're breaking it down a lot more. You're taking what you know, right? You're taking your one measurement, and then you're kind of building on that. Might take a little bit longer, might be a little bit safer and more comfortable. The other option is to do the multiply or divide if you feel comfortable understanding which way you have to go. So if you have to multiply or do you have to divide, plug in that conversion number and then it'll give you your unknown number. Okay, so we are going to do another example in just a second. All right, so here's my next problem. How many feet are in 6 yards? So I'm again going to do this both ways. I'm going to have feet and I'm going to have yards and I'm going to make a table. Really simple. And if you're not sure and you don't have this memorized, it's perfectly okay to say, oh, you know what? I need to go back and look at my chart. Perfectly okay. So I'm going to look over here and see that there are 3 feet in 1 yard. You can see that right over here on length. There are 3 feet in 1 yard. So that means that I'm going to have 3 feet in 1 yard. Then I can go ahead and I can extend that chart. So that would mean that in 2 yards, there are 6 feet. So what's my rule going from this way to this way? Times 3. When I have 3 yards, since my rule is times 3, when I have 3 yards, I have 9 feet, and then I can skip. I don't have to go and 4 and 5 and 6. Once I figure out my rule, then I can kind of skip down. So I can go 1, 2, 3. Oh, I want 6. I'm going to jump right down and put 6 here. Follow my same rule, times 3, and 6 times 3 is 18. So I know that there are 18 feet in 6 yards. Now, how would I go about doing this the multiply or divide way? Well, I'm going from yards, which is my known. So you always remember, you're going from your known to your unknown. My known is yards. So I am going larger to smaller. When I'm going larger to smaller, I am multiplying. So I'm taking my known times my conversion, and it gets me to the same thing, okay? So whichever way is more comfortable for you, this is sort of taking a shortcut and like kind of making a dive right in there, whereas this is kind of laying it out a little bit more. So you have to know what's comfortable for you. Remember, you are going to be writing these out on paper for me, guys. Don't just do them in your head. If you get more than like one wrong on the Google Forms, I'm probably going to bounce it back and ask you to do it again because I know you can. So just keep that in mind when you're doing this. We are going to go over capacity really quick, and then I'm going to set you free to try them. All right, so for capacity, a lot of people like Gallon Man. You might have seen him before. I actually did put a Gallon Man in the slides for you to look at if you like that. But I actually like this anchor chart for capacity a little bit better. I think that it's easy to remember. It's easy to redraw. So say you're taking a test or you're taking the PSSAs. You need to figure something out and they don't give you this. You could easily redraw this, right? It's kind of like easy to remember. So let's talk about what this exactly means. This means that our biggest unit here is a gallon. So 1 gallon. That's why there's a big G, right? And then Q is for quarts, P is for pints, and C is for cups, okay? So now I can easily see how many quarts are in 1 gallon. Well, how many Q's are in a G? That's basically what you're looking at. So how many quarts are in a gallon? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 quarts in a gallon. Okay, how many pints are in 1 quart? How many P's are in a Q? There's 2 pints in 1 quart. How many pints are in a gallon? So now I'm looking at my big gallon How many pints? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there would be 8 pints in 1 gallon. See how that works? So you can kind of go whichever way. How many cups are in 2 pints? 2 pints has too many C's. How many C's? 1, 2, 3, 4 C's. So 4 C's and 2 P's, right? So I personally like this as a way to look at that capacity. If you look at what you have in your Google Slides, I did give you Gallon Man, if that's something that you've used in the past that you're comfortable with, but I also did give you a copy of this. There also is a little shortcut here for whether you're dividing. So if you're going from inches to feet, you're dividing. But if you're going from feet to inches, you're multiplying. And there is also another one that's like that here for metric and customary. So going from kilometers to meters, everything you need to know is in here. Here we have length, capacity, mass and weight, and also time. Okay, so the questions that you're gonna do, you're gonna go down here and you're actually gonna click on this purple thing and a link will pop up that'll take you to your Google Forms. All right, you guys got this. Make sure you come ask me if you have any questions. And I would say since there's not very many questions in these Google Forms, that if you get more than one wrong, you should probably try it again. So let's do that. And if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to come see me. I'll be waiting on Google Hangouts for you. Have a great day.